Hey there, and thank you for joining us today on the Designated Pundits. You joined us while we previewed all 30 Major League Soccer teams. That was all for this. Today we're making predictions for Match Day 1. We got some best bets and sportsbook plays. Thank you for joining us on the Designated Pundits. For those of you joining us for maybe the first time or second time or third time, I'm Bob Ventimiglia. I'll be your host today with Scott Omer, our other designated pundit, Sir Alex, with the all black. That's Quicksilver a little bit on the side. That's a throwback. Back to the days when I couldn't balance on a skateboard. Not a lot's changed there. And our special guest here for a couple weeks, we're going to have Dion here, a.k.a. Nerdy Soccer Guy, helping out with the picks, just being one of the guys. Thank you for taking the time out to be here with us today.
Hey, no, thank you guys for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on here.
Now, today we're going to run through everything you need to know for some soccer sports betting. We're going to take it a little slow. Not every week, but we need to get into the gist of things, and it's been a long time, so a lot of the information we get throughout the season we haven't gotten yet. We're making educated guesses. Again, we've talked from experts from all 30 Major League Soccer teams, and we think we have something special here to break down for you today. So, gentlemen, let's get right into it. The first match we want to talk about is Atlanta United hosting CF Montreal. That game Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as will be most of the games we talk about today. Let's take a look at how things break down here. You have the betting lines. Atlanta minus 170 to win. They're heavy favorites. Montreal plus 400 to win. And you got the draw at plus 285. As far as goals go, Atlanta over 1.5 goals, minus 185, under 1.5 goals at plus 125. Montreal over 1.5 goals at plus 205, under at minus 330. So the sports books are telling us Atlanta is going to score more than a goal and a half. Montreal is going to score less than a goal and a half. Pretty much out there in the numbers. Gentlemen, anyone want to take this away? Let me see. We got a couple of live plays here. Scott and Sir Alex, you have the same place. Scott, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, look, I think that Atlanta has done a really bang-up job improving their roster over this offseason, and I don't think that Montreal has done quite such a good job. I agree with the sports book, and actually I'm going to go a little farther. I think that Atlanta wins this game and has a really, really, really good chance of scoring over 2.5 goals. And when they do that, you will get plus 120. And so that is my pick for this one, coming out strong. Atlanta to win over 2.5 plus 120. I like the new Atlanta offense. I think this is going to be a really strong offensive team.
You got Almiron, you got Loth joining them there. Going to be a nice revamped offense. And they weren't bad last season. It was a very hot and cold team. Alex, you have the same bet, 2.5 goals over.
They're at home. I'm hearing a sellout crowd. Montreal made some changes. They're a very young roster. Young, fast. They got a bunch of fast players on the team. But you're going into Atlanta. This is a whole different home opener. Everything Scott said, I agree with. I think there's be goals in this game, especially Atlanta at home. I would even look into some player prop bets. Laugh plus 105 to score at least once. Why not try that too? But I think Atlanta. I like Atlanta. I like Atlanta big in this game.
And Dion, you are actually eating the chalk on this one. If I pull these bets correct, minus 170. That is a heavy, heavy underdog. You're not mixing it. You're not pairing it. You're just taking it straight up.
Yeah, I think Atlanta wins for sure. I think that with like the sellout crowd, Almiron it's his homecoming. They're for sure winning. The crowd is going to play a role in this, and then with that attack, I would even say Loth gets his first goal, so for sure he scores in this one. But I see them winning big too. I think that they score over 2.5.
I like that too. So yeah, that plus 120 is a little better number than the minus 170, but it does come with some risk. A 2-0 win will not cover. You almost need Montreal's offense to contribute there. So I'm going to go a completely another route here. And this is something I learned by the betting expert Dan Alexander on the BetUS show last year. Atlanta first half win plus 105. Guys, I care about this game for 45 minutes, and then I can turn it off. While I do think you guys all have a great bet, I've been burned by 2.5 goals this early in the season pretty often. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Montreal, okay? This is a team that made some depth moves this offseason, signed Vrioni. I don't know what that's going to do, but they did solidify the team in some spots, but the defense, mostly the same. On the road in 2024, Montreal had 3 wins, 5 draws, and 9 losses, while conceding 2.41 goals per game, including 1.06 goals in the first half. Keep that in mind. It's going to be important. I can't bet on Atlanta at minus 170. It's just not enough money for me, not enough to get me excited. But, I think Atlanta's going to come out firing. I think that they have a lot to prove, and they have a lot to prove early. They're going to get that first goal that Montreal's been giving up so much, and I think they go into halftime with a lead. If they do, plus 105, that's a much nicer number that we're going to have here. Gentlemen, here are the bets. Bob, that's me. First half win, plus 105. Scott and Alex both with Atlanta to win and over 2.5 total goals at plus 120. And Dion with Atlanta to win at minus 170. I got a train coming through here. So, Scott, you're going to take us away on the next one, right?
I am going to take you away on the next one. Cincinnati is hosting the Red Bulls of New York Saturday, February 22nd. Little typo there. It is 2025. But 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. This is an Eastern Conference heavyweight hitter. Two teams who have done a lot of work this offseason, 2 teams who are on the upward trajectory. These are 2 teams who should be finishing near the top of the East. And we do have a couple of plays here, although I have to admit it's not mine.
My train is gone, so I will start us out with the first one. Now, if we look at the odds, FC Cincinnati plus 100 to win. Red Bull plus 235 to win. The draw is at plus 245. The sportsbook is putting 50% chance of Cincinnati winning this match. Plus 100 is a 50% implied percentage. Cincinnati over under 1.5 goals, minus 115, minus 125. We're not sure. They're not sure. But Red Bull, you're getting a heavy plus 155 to score twice. I kind of like how that is going. And my bet is going to be kind of based on a few things. And the first one is that the numbers just aren't right here. Seeing Red Bull at plus 235 against Cincinnati, a team that they've beaten many times over the past few years. Last year, they beat them 3-1 and 2-1 at home and away, respectively. And the odds being plus 270, it opened up at plus 270, that reflects an implied probability of 27% chance that Red Bull win this match. Just not good enough for me. So I'm going to hammer this game in a little strange way. I was looking at the double chance, but since the draw is at plus 245, Red Bulls to win or draw is like minus 140. It's not a good price. So I'm going to take Red Bull with the draw no bet. If there's a draw, you're refunded. If there's a loss, you lose. But if you win, it's plus 140. I think that those are just really good odds. Red Bulls are arguably a better team in a bubble. That comes with a huge asterisk that we're going to get to in a little bit. They've had the same team. They've had guys practicing all the time. By comparison, FC Cincinnati, they have new signings. Evander, Kevin Dinky, they're going to take some time to gel. And I know what Scott's going to say. Bob, we watched him gel. Evander got a goal and an assist in the CONCACAF game earlier this week. Yeah, but that was against Motagua. I believe that's the name of the squad. I have no idea who they are.
Hey,
Motagua.
Game time is game time, baby. Game time is game time, baby.
That is a
way to bring in that Central American audience there, Bob. Way to go to bring in a Central American audience.
I'm trying. I'm pushing everything I can here. I just think, come on, Red Bull's got a good chance in this. This is not one of those slam dunks. There's a 90% chance Red Bull's going to win. Let's all party ride on it. It's just a reflection that the numbers aren't quite accurate. Red Bull has more than a 27% chance of winning this matchup. And if you can get just 10%, 5%, 25% of an advantage here, there, and everywhere, you're going to have a good season overall. So my official play here is going to be Red Bulls. Draw no bet, plus 140. You're not sweating a draw. You'll just get your money back. And I think that this is a nice way to get a plus odds play on what is a very good team playing a team that has not yet put it together against Major League Soccer quality opponents. Who else has to play for this one?
Alex has got a play on this one.
Oh, Alex, I like your play too.
Yeah, I got both teams to score at -150. I know the odds are, but I couldn't pick a winner here. I don't like the Red Bulls defense. I watched that game against San Diego, last game in the regulars of the Coachella tournament. It was, ugh. And, just what Scott just mentioned, I watched that goal Evander scored the other night. Champions League. I don't care who you're playing against. That's quality finish right there. We had Buzz in Cincinnati with Denke and him. They're home. When I see Cincinnati plus odds at home, it's like, wait a minute. I don't like that at all. That's why I was like Bob said, odds here are weird on this, but I see goals in here. And both teams are going to score here, I do believe. And that's why -150. I couldn't pick a winner, but I'm very confident both teams are going to score in this game. So I'm going to go with that. Both teams are scoring -150.
I like that a lot. And part of the Red Bulls defense, I mean, me and Scott watched our teams get decimated over that Coachella. I mean, they were obviously in the middle of some heavy trainings. We're talking hands on hips. The guys were probably running wind sprints 20 minutes before they suited up for those matches.
I saw a player who usually goes 90 minutes, right, up and down the field, and I saw him in the first 20 minutes doubled over, hands on knees, right, sucking wind. Like, if you don't think these guys were doing conditioning hard around these games, like, you don't know anything.
Yeah, but it was funny about San Diego. Checo Lozano didn't look like he was doing wind sprints before the game when he won 5-0 in that game.
Yeah, no,
I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm just saying. Listen, both teams are going to score. Red Bulls, that back three, I don't like it. Reyes is gone. Let's see what's going to happen here. Cincinnati, that home field buzz scared. That's why I didn't want to touch Red Bull. Both teams are going to score this game. I'm very confident I play -150.
Look, I really like Alex's play here because it divests from the result, and I think it's a really good sort of look at these teams that both teams probably should score goals here. And I think the thing about the Cincy team is even if they aren't gelling, perfectly yet, there's enough quality in there. There's enough difference makers of guys who can just step up and make stuff happen that makes it really hard for me to want to bet against them. But I agree with what you're saying, Bob. The odds are weird. Alex, you said it. The odds are weird. I think there's a lot of this that is based off of maybe who these teams were last season and not who they are probably going to be on Saturday.
I completely agree. For FC Cincinnati, Miazga and Hagland are not ready for the start of the season. Luca Oriano, I don't know what's going on with him. He must be on like the back of a milk carton. He hasn't done anything yet. So I really want to see Cincinnati do it. I do think that they're going to be great. I think Evander is, yes, I say it, Evander is better than Luciano Acosta. And I think that that's by a significant margin you're going to see by the end of this year. But you just don't know how they're going to get together. Good players play poorly sometimes. Dion, do you have anything to say about this matchup?
Yeah, I the odds are weird on this one. This is why I didn't do anything. But I went back and forth with this, like for my predictions and stuff on my channel. At first, I picked Red Bulls to win, and then I know that it was the Champions Cup and not a great opponent. But seeing them put up 4 and those guys not playing together that long, I mean, literally, less than a week?
Yeah.
Some of them, like Evander and stuff, I changed my pick to Cincinnati winning at home just because it's at TQL. They're usually pretty good at home, but it's a hard one to bet on, really.
Absolutely. And you even see that from everyone else betting. I mean, my draw no bet was +140 on my doc. The odds shifted to +155. So I'll take that extra 15 cents to the bank here as we head to our third match of the day. Let's head to Columbus hosting Chicago. I do not have an official play on this. Alex and Scott, you both do. So let's take a look at what the sportsbook thinks first. Columbus Crew -230 to win. That is as heavy favorite as you're going to see. Chicago Fire +490 to win. Still no faith in Berhalter's new squad. The draw there is at +380, which is also juiced all to heck. That is not what a draw number should look like. Columbus over under 1.5 goals. The over 1.5 goals is -210. Apparently this is going to be a goal fest for Columbus. Under -140. Chicago Fire over under 1.5 goals +240 to the over minus 390 to the under. So not only does the book think Columbus is going to beat Chicago, they're going to do it by 2 goals.
Yeah, and this is the one I was looking at the sports book, and this is where I realized whoever is putting this together is looking at Columbus as they used to be. And I'm not out here to say Chicago is going to be this great team this year. That's not the point of this. But if you're Columbus, you don't lose Christian Oliveira and you don't lose Cucho and not have a drop off. And they still haven't really replaced Aiden Morris. And this Columbus team is not going to start the season the way that we would expect this Columbus team to start if they had kept a lot of that roster together. They've had major change. They're going to be well coached, but not as dangerous, I think, as they were previously. And Chicago finally has a pretty good mix of players and a pretty good coach. I think, a little more respect for Greg Berhalter than the sportsbook does. And so I think, hey, you know what? There's a chance Chicago could get something out of this. So, I have an official play here. It's a double chance, basically, Chicago win or draw, and at plus 165. This is just pure the odds. All Chicago has to do is get a draw, and this Columbus team is just offensively decimated. So I think they can do it.
Columbus is also missing a few players. I know Lapalainen is still questionable. I mean, that's someone who I wanted to pick up a little bit of the slack on the wing there. And with Chicago Fire, Jonathan Bamba is that name's been thrown around as one of the signings of the offseason. I know we give a lot to guys like Almiron, but he could be the guy. They also have a new right winger, Zinkernagel. Tom Barlow up top, not really inspiring a whole lot of confidence, Alex. I know you might have something to say there. But
I can't believe you made a team. I see draw this game. I big time. Just what Scott said. Columbus. This isn't the Columbus we're going to see in a few weeks or whatever summer transfer deadline. Columbus is going to bring some players in. They lost too much firepower. Berhalter coming home. I think he knows what he's doing. He's going to pack the bus. They're going to park the bus here. What do you think the temperatures are going to be in Columbus on Saturday night?
I can let you know.
Oh, I bet that's.
I'm going to go real cold. So I'm going to get right. Yeah. I'm going to get that. To me, that's this is 0-0-1-1. If anything, that's why I'm going to hit the draw. I saw the number really high. I'm like, you know what? Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Let's roll the dice. Plus 380, 350. This got draw written all over it. Temperature wise, Columbus losing guys. Berhalter coming home. Chicago made some signings. Yeah, look at the odds. Plus 383. I think I wrote 350 down accident. Whatever. It's really high. I'm going to jump on. I'm going to take the draw straight up.
Love that pick. We haven't seen odds like that in quite some time. Now, Houston and Dallas were two of the last teams we previewed in our 30 team preview, and they are two very interesting teams. They face off Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And when you look at the sportsbook, Houston Dynamo minus 115 to win. That's been moving all week long. FC Dallas plus 300. I'm already licking my lips at that. You guys know I love Dallas this year. But I think part of that is also Dallas with their away win total last year. It was one. It was one time.
They were so bad on the road. And again, they're thinking about, this is last year's Dallas team. This is not last year's Dallas team.
Yeah, and I think that is a huge mistake. For me, what I was really hammering was that this is not last year's Houston Dynamo team, one of the best defensive teams on the planet, because they lost Mikhail. No contingency plan, lost their best center back, one of the best center backs in Major League Soccer. They lost Ache. He is gone. And Dallas, Luciano Acosta, he's a difference maker. He's a game changer. And you already saw Musa, who had a fantastic year. I think he had like 16 or 17 goals. Now add Luciano Acosta, Kamingo, Anderson, Julio now supplying him the ball. Petar Musa is going to have 27 goals this year. Like, I think he's going to be absolutely in the Golden Boot race. And if they want to be taken seriously, they got to win games like this. This is about as short a distance as you can travel across Texas. And this is, Dallas has put it on Houston recently in the past, had a 2-0 win over Houston and a 1-1 draw on the road. Here, I think they find the back of the net twice and take a win. Now, I can't bet both of those, so I will bet them individually. I'm taking Dallas and the half goals. So I'm taking Dallas to win or draw at minus 105, just about even money for either one of those results. And a Dallas team total over 1.5 goals plus 180. That is an extremely high number for, again, a team who has an improved offense going on the road where they were pretty bad, but they're going to face off against a team in the Houston Dynamo who's lost their will to play defense. Ben Olsen without his best defender, I don't like that at all. They're playing Amin Bassi at the number 10. He is a backup forward. I just think this Houston team is a mess. I love Dallas's projection. And, hey, let's say they can match last year's away win total week 1.
Look, I love Dallas. I didn't have an official play. I see a Dallas double chance here under my name. I'm really happy to co-sign that. I do. I am very high on the Dallas projections. I think they're going to be much, much better than last year. And minus 105 on a double chance. Like, nice.
Alex, you also had Dallas at
this is more about I don't like what Houston has done in the offseason. And just what you mentioned, I'm expecting big things from Musa this year with Acosta there. If anything, I want to take Dallas straight up, but last second I did the double chance just to be safe.
And Dion, you're making this a team play.
Yeah. I mean, you guys pretty much covered all of it. I mean, Houston, they only brought in Jack McGlynn. That was pretty much the biggest.
Who's probably gonna have a good year. Let's not be, he's a good player, but that's not enough. That's not enough for what they lost.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, exactly. I think he'll have a good year too, but it's not, one player's not enough. And I think Dallas landing Acosta, that helps Musa up top a lot, and really a lot of the players on that team. So I had to go with you all on that one, Dallas to win or draw.
You also have Pice against Andrew Tarbell. So a lot of confidence in Dallas in this one from the crew here. Next matchup is going to be Nashville hosting the New England Revolution. We have a new system here, so I'm looking at who has picks. It seems like everyone except me. Dion, why don't you take this one away?
Yeah, so Nashville, New England Revs, Saturday on February 22nd. I think that I went with New England on this one to win straight up on the road. Nashville didn't do anything in the offseason, in my eyes. They lost a couple players, but didn't bring anybody in. And the Revs, I'm really high on Capana. I think Capana deserves a starting role as a striker. I think he was always in the shadows there in Miami. I guess I jumped ahead instead of went through the other stuff there for the betting lines. But yeah,
no, that's good. No one wants to hear me read out numbers all day anyway.
But yeah, I went New England straight up. I think that they'll go on the road and win this match with what they brought in this winter.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Like, the sportsbook was maybe not as harsh on New England. New England's like plus 285 to win or something like that. So not quite as bad odds as we saw with some of the other teams. But I think this is a little bit like, New England was really bad last year. Nashville was kind of bad last year. I also am looking at New England to do something in this game. I saw that Ben Wright was reporting for Nashville that Gaston Brugman is not available for this match. Julian Gaines is not available for this match, although I expect him to be less influential. Hani Mukhtar is questionable for this match. And even if he plays, the fact that he and one other player who I can't remember right now, I think it's Patrick Yazbek, the other midfielder.
Yeah.
The fact that they still have to be evaluated over the next 48 hours to see if they can play tells me that even if they do play, it's not going to be 100%. This is a team that still just had some struggles to get things going last season, to be productive offensively and stuff like that. I think this is a really good opportunity for a kind of a new look New England team, a rebuilt New England team to get off on the right foot. We're not expecting New England to be incredible here, but I'm expecting them to do something. This is an opportunity. And I think one they're able to take. So I have a winner draw play at -110.
I love those. I really can't get on it with you because I'm putting my name behind an official play on the New England Revolution. I'm going to need a little more to the eye test first, but they got Luca Langoni. Thomas Chancalay is going to be coming back from injury soon. Ignatius Ganago, the signing that they made this offseason, looks like he's going to be a guy. I don't love Campana. I think that he is, more of like a Joveljic type, like volume guy. He needs every chance, and he was a darling of underperforming his XG last year. But I think, in its time, I do think New England has maybe less pressure, certainly less pressure in New England than he had in Miami. I think that he has a chance with Hill, with Polster, UEL, all these guys just can make him better. And I think that we haven't seen the best. And I think for the Nashville, we have seen the best in Nashville, right? Like Hani Mukhtar's not getting better at this stage in his career. And who's going to be behind him? Who's the backup striker? Teal Bunbury. Are we putting our faith in him? No. I like what you guys are doing. I cannot get on it with you, but I respect the handicap on that.
Yeah.
Let's go to a game that none of us had on our short board to talk about. St. Louis hosting the Colorado Rapids. That game is also going to be Saturday at 8:30. It looks like when I messed up the year on one graphic, I messed up the year on every graphic. It is 2025. You are not in a time machine. Betting lines here. St. Louis City -105 to win. That's one of the best home odds you can find. Colorado Rapids +220 to win, and the draw is +275. St. Louis over/under goal and a half -175 for the over, +115 to the under. Colorado, they are expected to score under 1.5 goals. Now, if I just discussed Houston being a team that I'm going to be picking on early because of the changes they made, because of the defender that they let go, not expected to, St. Louis is the opposite. I mean, they made all their transfers last summer and had the last few games of last season to put it together. With Cedric Tucher, Marcel Hartel, they had some games to build chemistry, and they did. Hartel, 3 goals, 5 assists over 9 matches, and Tucher racking up 5 goals, 4 assists in just 754 minutes. St. Louis City roster is mostly returning. They have chemistry, and they were good over the past few weeks. I think they had 5 wins and 2 losses over their last 7 games. That's after bringing in all these roster reinforcements. I like Colorado. I like what they're doing, but they had a midweek CONCACAF game in -1 degree weather. Don't like that at all. So I'm taking the home team, and I'm taking them straight up to win. Let me see what odds I gave myself because they were all over the place. -110. It had been at -105. It's going all over the place. So I just think St. Louis is just a really safe bet. I'm going to be taking them at home a bunch this season. And good luck, guys. They did their roster building last year and should have a little bit of a hands up on everyone.
I just like co-signing betting against Champions Cup teams in the early season. It's a very established trend in Major League Soccer for these Champions Cup teams to struggle with the short week and the short rests between games. St. Louis doesn't have that issue. Colorado does.
Alex, any thoughts? You also have St. Louis City to win at -110.
Yeah, I'm this Champions League midweek. Yes, they won, right? So they're on a high, but now I'm expecting squad rotation. St. Louis at home is really tough. If this game was in Colorado, I would take Colorado, to be honest with you. Since the game is St. Louis home opener, St. Louis at home, Colorado midweek Champions Cup game made my determination this game. So I'm taking St. Louis in the odds at -110.
We have a question in the chat. We'll be talking San Diego FC. That is not a prepared game to talk about, but if you stick around to the end, we'll spend 5 minutes on it. Love it, Dion. No official play here. Did you have a lean?
I think I would agree with you all. I mean, I liked what I saw for Colorado. I did watch that Champions Cup match against LAFC, but short week. We know the history, like you guys said. I would have to say St. Louis on this one straight up too, that they win this one.
All right, let's move on. This is our last official match of match day 1. The San Jose Quakes hosting Real Salt Lake. Sorry, Scott. Saturday, 10:30 p.m., which means, hey, you could even go to the games and go home and put this on your TV, although you might really not want to. San Jose Quakes are plus 120 to win. RSL plus 185. Draw is at plus 260. The Quakes over under a goal and a half, minus 120, minus 125, which means it's right at a goal and a half. We're not really sure which way that one's going to lean. RSL over under a goal and a half, plus 115 to the over, minus 165 to the under. So we think that offense is going to do what they thought they were going to do, which is not be the super competitive squad here. I didn't even make notes for this matchup. I just thought it was kind of really an easy one to pick here. I'm taking San Jose. The home team at plus 120. I think that's one of the highest home team advantages. That's one of the highest home team numbers. And again, it's based on a team that we had last year. This is not an odds from 2025. This is an odds matchup from 2024. Quakes got Chicho Arango, who has a revenge game in his very first match in an opposing uniform. Love that. You have Espinosa and Hernan Lopez
hat trick.
Finally feeding someone.
Here you go. Odds on anytime goal scorer. Let's look that up.
Look up Chicho. Look up Joseph Martinez. Looks like they might even be moving to a 2-striker system in San Jose. The question is, what can San Jose's defense do? Probably not a lot. But RSL is going to be given Forster Ajago the first dibs at the attacking. You know, we saw that third striker from Red Bull, Elias Manuel, never showed up to practice there. Listen, I think RSL is an immensely talented squad, even without their top striker. But you can't ask a team to put it together on an away match in San Jose on their first chance to see what it looks like out there. And I just got to take the Quakes at home plus 120. Any home team in plus money is going to be a good pick. And I just think in San Jose, we are thinking of a team that no longer exists. This is a Bruce Arena team now. Bruce brought in a whole bunch of his guys. He knows how to win in Major League Soccer. He knows how to win home games in Major League Soccer. I just think the writing's on the wall. I think San Jose is going to be an average team. I think RSL is going to be probably maybe even a little better than average. But I got to take San Jose at plus 120 here. Alex, I know you are on that play too.
Yeah, I'm basing on one thing. Bruce Arena is pissed off, and this is his revenge tour. And whoever they're playing opening day, San Jose, they were going to win this game. And it just has to be Real Salt Lake. I'm sorry, Scott. Listen, San Jose made a lot of changes. I expect more goal scoring from San Jose this year. And Real Salt Lake, again, this is not their roster. I know they're still looking to make some moves. I don't know if it's now or the summer transfer window. Real Salt Lake's not done. You know, they lost guys they haven't replaced. Still got Luna there. You got to, Luna's there. So Salt Lake is still a threat. But plus odds, like Bob said, that don't make no sense to me. I'm more on Bruce Arena revenge tour. He's back. Look out. Sorry, Real Salt Lake coming into his first home game in San Jose, and I think San Jose is going to win this. I think it's going to be pretty easy.
Yep. Diego Luna, by the way, is still coming back from that broken nose suffered during international play. Apparently not super comfortable with the mask, not in love with that. Didn't
no player ever is. Yeah, no player ever is.
Didn't feature, in the midweek game. I would be surprised if he played heavy minutes or meaningful minutes in San Jose. Look, I agree. I just don't think this is a great matchup for RSL. First game, Chicho is going to be motivated. San Jose is going to be very motivated to make a statement. This is a team that has been bad for a long time, and they finally have the pieces to be good. So they are going to want to make a statement that things have changed for them. They're going to want to tell that to the league. They're going to tell that to their fans. So I think RSL just drawn a bit of a short straw there. I think by the end of the season, if you can keep that, a close, hard-fought, competitive game, it won't look that bad. But yeah, I think San Jose definitely gets this win.
Now let's take a look at our official pick. Sorry, take us away, Dion.
No, I was just going to say, I to touch on that game, I'm on the playoff train for San Jose. I think that San Jose is going to make the playoffs. There in the Western Conference, but also Real Salt Lake did not look very good in that midweek game against Herediano. Scott, did you watch it?
I did, and you're right. The offense really lacks how do I put this, game changing quality.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I thought, and this I think you will see a little bit more of this in San Jose, is the defense looks deep to me. The defense looked very, very comfortable. Herediano, they had one real chance, and it was a pot shot from distance. Everything else is just like comfortable catching practice for the goalie, and a lot of shots from distance. So I don't think that San Jose is going to like run over that defense. Even RSL's like new loanee was like, you're like thinking this is the 5th choice center back, Kobe Henry. He looks MLS level comfortably, reads the game really well. So I think the defense is still going to look fine. The goalie's going to look fine. The midfield is still going to be a handful. And you're just going to watch that offense and be like, oh, guys, you're trying.
I love it. Last match, and I guess we're going to get into this really quickly. The Galaxy are hosting San Diego FC. We were asked to discuss this game. Galaxy minus 245. They are hugely heavy favorites. San Diego FC plus 500. That is the biggest underdog of the week. I like San Diego. I think that they are going to play well this season. But Galaxy lost one home game last year, and that was the July 4th Rose Bowl match. I don't see them losing, even though they do have some interesting injuries. They have Puig is going to be out for most of the season. Paint still will not be available in this one. And with a new striker, it looks like they're going to have Ramirez up top. I'm not sure that I really want to bet them at minus 245 or pair it with an over and under a team total. So I am staying away from that match. But at San Diego FC, minus 500, just because they're an expansion team, there's a lot of talented players on that squad. You have Irving Lozando, Andres Dryers. Those are going to be two of the best wingers in Major League Soccer. There's just too many questions for me. I can't bet on them with any type of confidence. I know Andre Reyes may or may not be ready for this match. Just not looking good for me. So I will abstain. And I'm going to briefly grab some props here. Anyone else have any opinion here?
Yeah, you could talk me into something like both teams to score no draw. That's plus 105. I do think that San Diego is going to come out with something to say. You've got a lot of talent. While I think, saying, yes, this team can go win this game, that's a big ask against this Galaxy team. Although it's not the same Galaxy team we saw in MLS Cup final. They've had some changes. Some players are gone. But they're still a really good squad. But you could talk me into something like, hey, both of these teams are going to have goals. And I would say, yeah, you're probably right.
When we did the San Diego preview, I said my biggest thing against them was I think that this roster, top to bottom, is possibly a top 12 to 15 in Major League Soccer without even seeing them step on the field a single time. They have a head coach who's never coached in Major League Soccer before in Mikey Veras. I cannot take him in any good judgment over this LA Galaxy squad where you got, Greg Vanny finally playing the way Greg Vanny wants to play. It's just too much for me. But I will be betting on San Diego this season. It's just not in this one. Dion.
Yeah, I mean, there's just too many unknowns for me with San Diego. I don't know too much about any of the players that they did pick up other than, Luca De La Torre. But kind of like you said with their manager, he's never coached in MLS. Don't know how good he's going to be. I couldn't go either way. I think if I had to, I would say Galaxy will win this one just because they're at home. But I wouldn't put money on it. But I would break it down like something like, I would say Peck will score at any time. That's at plus 110. I think that he'll get on the score sheet. But to pick between the teams, I don't think I could on this one.
I agree. Certainly not at the money. Gentlemen, let's go around the horn and everyone just pick your favorite bet. Mine's going to be St. Louis to win at home minus 110. It's one of my only home team plays here, and that's what I got to go with. Alex, favorite pick? Is there one here?
Let's go with my Atlanta pick.
Atlanta and over 2.5 goals at plus 120. Yeah. Like that a lot. Scott, favorite pick of the week?
I'm going to co-sign that Atlanta pick. That is my favorite. Atlanta at home with this, new striker, new offense. Miguel Almiron homecoming. That's just tasty.
And Dion, we got to call you the chalk eater. That's someone who takes a very easy bet at terribly low odds. Atlanta there -170. Do you have out of the other two a favorite?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would go with the Atlanta one, but I'll go with something different since they picked that. But theirs is better odds anyway. I would say the Revs one. I think the Revs. I think that they could do it there on the road against Nashville. So I think that is the one that stands out the most out of my three.
Love it. I'm pulling up the implied probability calculator here as we're talking, and we're going to see that plus 285. That's going to give you a 25.97% chance to win. I do like that. Also, our 2025 results, we got nothing. First show, gentlemen. First one is in the books. Any final thoughts, guys?
No, this is really fun at the beginning of the season because we touched on this a couple times. So many of these odds are based off of who these teams were last year and not who they are right now. So, it's like that's why you can get Chicago plus 500.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Designated Pundits. I'm Bob here with Scott, Alex, and Dion. Have a great weekend, everybody.